The community supporting the federal government during the American Civil War brought a ton of raw power into the conflict. All right, we're going to make our way down this very old, late 18th century roadway and actually see what we can come up with. It's a very nice spot down through here. The easiest way to find these old historic sites is actually just to follow some of these old abandoned roads. Using two old maps from the Library of Congress and a painting from the local historical society, we're going to try our best to locate the three mill buildings. I'm also going to take out my metal detector, but I honestly don't expect to find much. The raw power for this mill came from this. There is 19 feet of fall in the water from here down to the mill site. And the remnants of the old dam are right here. The water level would be built up. Wait, pause everything. That concrete bridge behind me replaced an iron bridge that dated to the late 19th, early 20th century. The earliest bridge washed out, and that's why they moved it up on higher ground. And it would pour down right through here, and this is the mill race. The sheer volume of power running down through here is unimaginable. This actually powered the wool mill that created fabric and blankets during the Civil War. So we're going to go down here and try to solve this mystery. Another clue we have is right here, the old road bed. So it crosses there, and the road bed should be in here someplace leading on down to the mill. And now I'm here at the top of the mill raised berm. So at this point, about halfway down to the mill, we are already 15 feet above the level of the creek over there. That's a significant amount of power in just a little bit of time. All right, we are now in what I believe is the old wheel pit. You can see how wet and soggy it is right here. Pretty nasty. But behind me, you have a significant opening in the stonework. I'm going to go ahead and uncover that lightly, see what's under there. I believe the pitman arm and everything would have gone right through here, but I'm not 100% sure. There is still a lot of historic lime and sand over here. This is about all the digging I'm going to do at this spot. You can see exactly what's happening here. There's nothing here but a huge flat stone. If you look over here, you can see where the mortar on the stone basically stopped, right here. They built this up at some point. So the bottom of this would have actually been to here. This section was built first. I have heard that this was a grist mill in the 18th century and converted to a wool factory later, which would actually make sense. Oh, for the record, this was definitely a grist mill before it was a wool factory. A conversion that drastic would call for a lot of alterations. And if that's the case, they probably used different machinery or a different type of wheel. And that would have involved a different configuration in the opening for the driving axle. 2 millstones are still on the property today. Right here, I'm almost dead certain I'm right on top of the wall here. I believe this is the inside face of the wall right here. But I don't know how far down it goes. I believe this is the south wall right here. And then the west wall is here. And I believe the corner would have sat right in this area here. Mill race is right there at that level. Behind us, 19th century roadbed. But in between, we have a significant amount of rubble just piled up right through here. It's about 15 or 20 feet, give or take. This platform probably consists of building rubble. From that, what looks like a corner there, down to right about here, that looks like roughly 20 feet. Oh, that looks like it might be another corner here. This looks like another cornerstone. When we go and do our research tonight, we're looking for a building that's roughly 20 feet by 20 feet, give or take. And here's a piece of the brick. My goal now is to go inside here and just dig around and see what kind of rubble there is. Now there are quite a few old bricks, like this. And they all have slightly different colorations. So let's dig down a little bit and see what we actually have here. Another piece of a brick. I don't see any full bricks here, but that leads me to believe that the good bricks, the whole bricks, were snagged up at some point. Ooh. Piece of metal, more metal, more metal. Looks like a bolt of some sort. We found square-headed bolts within the foundation of this building. All right, so to recap. All right, I believe at this point we now know exactly where the weaving mill lay. Before we started, we knew what the dimensions were, but now we know exactly where it actually sat in the landscape. We always knew that this was the wheel pit, just based on the topography and where the mill race was. But one building we never knew existed is right here, and I believe that's the dyeing shed. It could be the drying house, but I'm willing to bet, based on its dimensions, it was where the material was actually dyed. Now, as far as the drying house, that's still up in the air, and that's the subject for a future video. I have to ask myself, how many of the blankets produced in this exact spot would go on as protection from the bitter Virginia cold and the harsh Georgia sun? And how many of the blankets dyed right here in this spot would become stretchers for the dying and shrouds for the dead? There really isn't a happy ending to all this, though. The mansion house associated with this mill was torn down a few years ago to build a bakery. A tragic loss for the local community. You might be wondering, what did I find with a metal detector? Well, a lot of rock, a lot of iron rocks, and a plastic watch. Some aluminum cans. That's pretty much it.